Hello, investing friend of financial freedom, and welcome into Investors Club. Got a great show for you. We've been looking for the very best stocks in the world to outperform and crush it and make a bunch of money. Today's stock Sportsradar has done that for us. But we don't care what it's done for us. Is it going to continue to do it for us is what we care about. It's a pretty gosh darn good one. The numbers on this stock are really great. But are there any concerns? And is it as good as the stocks we really love, our tier one stocks, our best stocks? Let's take a look. Great to see you guys. All right. Been working on so much stuff, so much coming down the pike. Stay tuned. Coming in shortly. Radar Love. Should we bet the house on Sportsradar or bet the spouse? Now there's a business model. All right. So we have a data play. This is a data play. So AI, anyone, data play stock that's been a big winner for Investors Club members, Sportsradar, or if you will, SRAD. Look at that thing go. It has doubled for us and better, heading for a triple. It is the numero uno provider of sports data based on revenue. So they sell their services to sports leagues, betting operators, and media companies. And hugely importantly, what they have is exclusive data and audiovisual rights deals. With whom, you ask? With whom? The NBA, Major League Baseball, the NHL, Tennis Association of Tennis Professionals, South American Football Conference, Union of European Football Associations, Asian Football Confederation, Deutsche Fußball Liga, and I think more as well. But NBA, MLB, and NHL just right there. Holy moly. So impressive and lucrative. They made it. This company, their numbers are sensational. And in part because of these deals, their numbers are sensational. They offer a range of services. So for betting operators, what does this company do? Well, for betting operators, they provide pre-match and live data and odds, sports audiovisual content, iGaming, and marketing and advertising. They've really branched. And then for media companies, they provide data feed interfaces, sports audiovisual content, broadcast solutions, digital services, research and analytics, over-the-top streaming solutions, and programmatic advertising. And then for the leagues themselves, they provide live data and analysis, fraud monitoring, and anti-doping. Wow, they've gotten into a bunch of stuff. As we saw in the chart, they've been growing strongly. So their revenues over the last 5 years have more than doubled. Their earnings have been up and down. They're sort of just coming into profitability, but their free cash flows as well. So the numbers, their free cash flows especially. If you start at 2021 anyway, 1 penny, 2 pennies, 20 cents, 41 cents, 54 cents. They're really looking good. Returns and margins leave something to be desired, but they're still a young company. So they're still a young company. They issue shares like many of these companies do, but not egregiously so. So it's quite a company. So they're what they're doing with that, they've got the data. And as we've said when we've talked about these AI plays, one of the big AI plays is exclusive data. And if they're this data provider and they've got and maybe they have a moat, maybe they don't, they're making their numbers are good. But so that's they could have a great future in AI. But we do have some concerns. So for background, Karsten Curl is the founding CEO, creates and runs SRAD with more than 75% voting power. So it's his company and an impressive job he has done. Our story begins last year. So in early 2024, they announced full year 2023 results. They said, by the way, we're going to announce a share repurchase program, $200 million. And the company was $3 billion at the time. And so that was a big amount. And so that might sound good, like, great, my percentage ownership is going to go up. But if you read the book, get the book for free in the description, we're looking for high rates of reinvestment and the ability to reinvest for a long time. We want to see zero dividends and zero buybacks. So you, instead of giving the money back to us, reinvest at 25% or whatever this company's doing. So that's one thing. But Shortly after the announcement, Mr. Curl went on a selling spree of roughly 35 million bucks. So they announced the share repurchase program, and shortly thereafter, he starts selling. So that smells fishy. That looks fishy. It smells fishy. This company is using stock-based compensation in the first place. So to have a buyback program, a lot of the companies do it to keep the share count down, they say. But why not just pay people in money? People, 95% of stock-based compensation by one person's estimates or one person's analysis gets sold at the earliest opportunity. So why not just pay these? So that's a little fishy in the first place, but a lot of companies do that. So they're doing a buyback while using a good bit of SEC. I don't like the SBC in the first place. I don't like that. But the CEO selling right into that buyback. We got this growing company. You would think that they would be trying to reinvest all that they could. And they announce a buyback. Oh, all right. And then he sells a lot right into it, 35 million. That just doesn't look good. And then after the year ended, the board made this helpful move on behalf of you and me. Discharge of the board of directors and of executive management. The shareholders approved the discharge of all members of the board of directors and executive management from personal liabilities for the year for their actions in the year ended December 31st, 2024. So after that, they officially he has 75% voting power, and it's his company. Whoever's on that board, he put him there. So at the end of the year, they officially said, I didn't do anything wrong. Officially. Okay. And then later that, I guess this year, sorry, I can't even see my own thing. Yes. So earlier this year, they had announced that they retained underwriters to sell shares on behalf of 3 insiders. So the big news is they'd be using their share repurchase program. So they're doing a secondary offering. This is technically a secondary offering. And a lot of times a company like a biotech will do so your IPO is your initial public offering. And then you can do your follow-ons are all secondaries. And so a company like a biotech might do a secondary offering to raise cash to fund operations. Well, this company's, they're making good. We saw their cash flows were getting better and better and better. And they're doing a buyback. They've got so much cash. So why on one hand are you buying back and on the other hand issuing shares? Well, in this case, they're not issuing shares. They're not selling new shares to get cash. They hired an underwriter to help sell the CEO's shares as well as 2 other big insiders, 2 institutions and the CEO. So they used the company's funds to hire these underwriters to help sell the CEO shares, to help the CEO unload his position. And then not only that, they announced they would officially be using their buyback to buy the CEO shares. So they would be using to buy the three insiders, the CEO being one of them. They would be using its share repurchase program to buy some of these. So they participated in their very own secondary. And like on the face of it, that's just absurd. So concurrently purchased from the underwriters 3 million Class A ordinary shares. So they bought back 3 million shares from the CEO and others. If there was any doubt before that Mr. Curl was using the company to buy his shares, that was removed by him officially using the company to buy his shares. He sold more than $200 million worth. That's a ton, but he kept his voting. Can you justify using funds to buy back shares when they seem to claim to have reinvestment opportunities and the CEO is unloading? Can you have it both ways? Can they justify using the funds to buy back the shares when they claim to have reinvestment opportunities? So the CFO, who was put there seemingly to orchestrate this stuff, it seems, back last year, and this all started when the CFO was brought in. He said on the last call, our first priority with that deployable capital is to invest back into our business, like we were saying, at high rates of return. Then we look for M&A. So that's to reinvest in the business. That would be looking for organic growth. Then we look for M&A. That would be inorganic growth. In the absence of those 2 things, or even at the same time as we're doing those 2 things, we do see an opportunity to continue to return capital to shareholders. Certainly, we expect a significant opportunity moving forward with regards to our share price. We think we're undervalued. We think we're undervalued where we are today, given the growth profile of the company. Then why is the CEO unloading so much? The CEO who controls everything is selling. At the same time, he has a CFO doing a buyback and saying they're undervalued. Can you have it both ways? What are we left to conclude except this is the founder's company and will be run as such? So I like this company. I like its growth is really good. It's really darn good. There's some things about it. It plays right into AI with the data and things. And it's been a great winner for us. But is it as good as Mercado Libre? I think not. All right, investing friends, I will see you in the Discord. Have a great night. So much more to come. See you in the Discord.